Literacy as social practice. Why do we stress on literacy so much? Because it helps individuals in society. As we said earlier when we started this unit, we want literate individuals so that they can survive in society. They can know what their job is, what they need to do, and how they need to do it. So literacy practices, even we may not know, we are unaware, but on a daily, regular basis, we take part in lots of practices that demand literacy on our part. For example, when you buy a car, you just don't go to a shop and say, I want a car. You ask questions. You find out. If you're not literate, how do you know what to ask? How do you know what the other individual, the opposite guy, is trying to tell you? So you see how literacy helps even when you're buying a car. When you're going shopping, we just don't go to a shop and pick up things and take it to the counter and pay the bill and walk out. We bargain, we argue, we find better products, we find quality stuff. Again, it is literacy that helps us do all that. Visit the doctor. How do you know what the doctor is saying? How do you know what medication to take? How often to take it? How do you know where to go for the x-ray or the lab test? All that demands literacy skills. Pay a bill. You just don't go to the bank. You collect the money. You make sure you have the right amount. If you don't, you make sure you get the right amount back, the change. All that is literacy skills. We are engaged in social practices in which literacy gives us help, even when we don't know we are engaging in literacy activities. We may be unaware. The common man may be completely unaware, but when the common man is asking questions, when the common man is inquiring, when the common man is trying to find out, when the common man asks a question, he is in the process of using literacy skills. Now, I'm sure you can find lots of other examples from daily life, from everyday living, where we use literacy skills. If we are literate, if we do have those 4 basic skills of reading, writing, calculating, counting, and computers, we can do much better in our daily practical lives. There are culturally accepted ways of engaging in social practice, and these can vary across cultures and over time. For example, greeting people. In some cultures, you shake hands. In some cultures, you give a hug. In some cultures, you may exchange a kiss. In some cultures, you just put your hand to your heart. But how do you know? If you don't have the literacy skills, how do you know what to do when you are in another land? As they say, in Rome, do as the Romans do. If you don't, you will be the odd one. So how do you learn these skills? Where do you learn these skills from? You learn these skills today. Of course, you can read about them. Today, there is, of course, the social media that helps a lot. You can actually see videos of what happens in different parts of the world. And if you're traveling abroad, you should watch these videos. You should read about the culture and mannerisms of other places and how people act and behave in other cultures, in other societies, in other parts of the world. To think that all cultures and all nations and people everywhere do exactly what we do here in Pakistan is wrong. People don't do exactly what we do in Pakistan. People do lots of things very differently, and literacy and literal skills should help us to understand what they do, how they do, and why they do, and to help us adapt to some of those things when we are in their countries, when we are in their cultures, so that we don't make fools of ourselves. We are seen as people who understand another individual, a foreign individual, from that individual's perspective, rather than from our own singular perspectives.